A man is giving an interview. He insists the host say two-time Oscar winner before saying his name. He thinks it's about preserving a superstar's dignity. But from a god's eye view, it's just a hollow man terrified of being forgotten. He has no idea that a blackmail call is about to come in and rip apart the perfect facade he's spent his whole life maintaining. Then the call comes. The caller claims to have a videotape. That could destroy him. Hollywood superstar Leaf Hawke's world collapses in an instant. Once a child star, he went on to win 2 Oscars. But even he couldn't escape the curse, once spiraling into drug addiction. 5 years clean, what he fears most is the past. Panicked, he turns to a crisis PR expert. The approach is cold and ruthless. In the age of social media, scandals can't be buried, only leveraged. They plan to package the blackmail as a victim narrative for the masses. Make him the next Kardashian, and turn scandal into currency. But first, Leaf has to find the blackmailer. He lives in the delusion that everyone loves him. Convinced he has no enemies, he gets the truth in a single line from his assistant. From his trainer to the cleaning staff, everyone hates his nitpicking. They flatter him to his face and curse him behind his back. That truth shatters Leaf's first illusion. He sets out on a forced journey of atonement, taking stock of everyone he's hurt. The first suspect is the former manager he once kicked to the curb. Swallowing his pride, Leaf finds the down-and-out old man in an arcade. He expects a confrontation full of hatred. But the old man has no bitterness, only memories. He remembered Rafe's talent and the heartbreak of watching him fall. The old man never wanted money, just a phone call. Just the warmth of knowing he hadn't been forgotten. The guilt cut Rafe to the bone. He thought he was the one who'd been betrayed. But in truth, he was the cold one doing the hurting. With that suspect cleared, Rafe turned to the next one. His mother, who treated her son like a cash cow. A woman living off a Beverly Housewives-style reality show. To get to the truth, Rafe was forced to join her on the show and stage a fake mother-son reconciliation. On camera, his mother tearfully listed everything she'd sacrificed for him. Rafe's heart softened, but in the very next second, she turned to the camera and coolly asked the director to redo that close-up. Motherly love? It was all an act, and Rafe completely fell apart. He finally saw just how cold-blooded his mother was. And he ruled her out as well. This woman was addicted to cashing in on attention. Money wasn't the issue, and she had no reason to resort to something as inefficient as blackmail. His efforts to find the blackmailer kept failing. But in the process, Rafe was forced to confront the emptiness of his own life. He went to apologize to his ex-girlfriend. By then, she was married with children and living a happy life. In the calmest voice, she delivered the most devastating verdict on Rafe. He's not a good man, selfish, hypocritical, and only thinks of her when he feels empty. That long-overdue judgment forced Rafe to face a truth he'd long forgotten. He had pushed away a love that was real, and the chance at a warm family. Back home, battered and bruised, he found his only 2 remaining friends, Jack and Annie, still waiting for him. But Rafe reacted as if they'd stepped on a raw nerve. He fell back on the logic he'd learned in the world of fame and status. He berated Annie for not seeing the bigger picture. Annie was utterly disillusioned, and she stripped away his final facade. When he was spiraling into addiction and everyone else had abandoned him, only she and Jack stayed by his side. And now he judged everything by fame and money, forgetting the people who never gave up on him. Annie stormed off. Only Jack was left. Rafe couldn't understand why Jack had never walked away. At last, Jack revealed the secret he'd kept buried deep inside. In high school, he was relentlessly mocked for being perceived as gay. It was Rafe, before fame had corrupted him, who accepted him without hesitation and encouraged him to be his true self. That kind, sincere boy was the image Jack had been protecting all along. Now, Rafe himself had become the least authentic version of himself, a hollow man held hostage by fame. Those words were like a scalpel, cutting precisely into the rot inside Rafe's heart. The next day, he sat before the cameras for a high-profile interview, ready to follow the script. He was set to put on the perfect victim act. His career would soar to new heights. But in the final second before the live broadcast began, he made a decision that stunned everyone. He got up and walked out of the studio without looking back. He would rather lose his career than keep up the act. And yet, this act of defiance led to an unexpected result. The PR expert called, his voice full of admiration. His abrupt walkout was read as a hardball power move. It spooked the blackmailer instead, and they cracked, accepting a $35,000 settlement. A crisis that could have destroyed his career ended in such an absurd way. At last, Rafe watched the tape. There was no crime, no conspiracy. Just a lonely man in a hotel room far from home, seeking comfort online from a girl he didn't even know. It was a mistake born of emptiness. A sad descent, and the blackmailer wasn't some sworn enemy with an old grudge, just the girl's broke boyfriend, who happened to find the video. He just wanted some quick cash. It all came from poverty and emptiness. The scandal died down. But Rafe Hawke could never go back. He called his former agent and chatted about everyday things with the deference of a junior. He sincerely apologized to his friends and made peace with them. This absurd blackmail ordeal was like a brutal purge, squeezing all the pretense and glitter out of his life, forcing him to see he'd long had nothing left and to understand what was truly worth cherishing. In an age when attention comes with a price tag, the aura of a top star will eventually fade, and every perfect persona will collapse. Only sincerity can earn sincerity in return.